in the world. I mean, nobody, I think, is going to be a 10-year world champion at 48 kilos, simply because, unless you're, a tiny person as a mature adult, you're just not going to stay there in terms of your weight and your growth. Daria Biledid has done an amazing thing to achieve what she's done at 17, but she has still growing to do. So, if she's able to, so as she grows, she's either going to go up into another weight class or she's going to retire, and she's going to be facing different people at other weight classes, like Abe Uta at 52 kilos, and that's a totally different prospect to what she's facing now. So it may be that what happens is that she just ages out, or gets to the point where she can no longer sustain the cut to stay at 48 kilos. So those may be factors that solve this conundrum as well. It's not just, somebody coming in and finding the answer. So, Narbayev from Kazakhstan in white, Torres in blue. Torres has already picked up a Shido.
Yeah, I was thinking about what Jin Shin was saying there, and not wanting to, pour water on his fire.
But you're going to anyway.
but I am. Right?
That's fine.
And I suppose a few of you.
It's just a thought.
But no, it's a very good thought, and it made me think about Tani Ryoko.
Of course.
Who won her first world title in 1993, and 10 years later was winning another world title, and not only did she go in 2003, she went 2004, 2007 and 2008. So that is exceptional. I cannot think of another lightweight like that. Then I would go to the men and say that someone like Nomura Tadahiro, who ended up winning 3 Olympic titles, and that's normally over a 12-year cycle.
Sure.
But those were both people who came to the 60 kilo category and came to the under 48 kilo category as finished articles. They were not going to get any bigger.
No.
That's completely different from Daria Biledid, who
right.
I believe is holding her weight at 48 for this cycle, and immediately that's finished, she's going to do exactly what Kae-Sun-hee did from the DPRK and go from 48 to 52 and 57 and won Olympic titles and world titles in 3 different weights. That's where I think we're going to go with Biledid. So her 10-year period of success, if she does go for that long, will be spread over 3 weight categories rather than 1 like Tani and Nomura, and she will be more along the lines of someone like Kae-Sun-hee or Cho Min-sun from the Republic of Korea, who won at all different weights. And I think there's probably...
Well, like Kerpalik hopes to do.
Well, Kerpalik, he's gone a couple.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see, something that's got a bigger thing than 1 jump, where you do like 3.
Right.
For example, with the coach from Mongolia here, Hashbatar Saganbatar, who was a bronze medalist at the Athens Olympics at under 60 kilo category, world champion in Rotterdam at 66, and Paris Grand Slam gold medal at 73. So, then you can talk about a long period in different weights.
In different weights.
And so Jean's point, I'm going to agree with. It could happen, but it won't happen at 48.
Right.
The suggestion is that Biledid is going to go at different weight categories. If she has the longevity, it won't be at 48, and it won't be because she can't do it, just because she won't be able to sustain that weight.
And I think I agree with everything you're saying, but the thing that almost. It's good to watch the judo too.
Well, the great thing at home is that you can watch. No score between Narbayev and Torres. The difficult thing for Torres, however, is that he's picked up 2 penalties and we're going into the golden score period. So a single Shido to Torres in the golden score period would end it for him, whereas Narbayev is still in this penalty 3. That was a great effort at the end there. Gene.
Really great. So the one thing, though, that that Bilodid faces that some of these other players didn't, who went through multiple weight classes, is Abe Uta. Abe Uta, I feel like, she, in my mind, what I've seen of her already, I would compare her to Tane Ryoko in what she's in her play, in her energy, in her precision, in her technical virtuosity. You know, she is just on another plane in terms of her overall judo. She's incredibly versatile. She's so assertive. She's, you know, very un-Japanese in how she comes out and just brings. She's like a blast furnace when she comes out and plays, and she doesn't have any one single attack. She will face you and adjust to what you do and beat you however you're playing. The way that she played Bouchard at the World Championships last month was
played is a good word
just
as well.
Stunning. You know, that armbar that just went over and over, and she was just not going to let it go until she got it. So, you know, that is going to be an enormous obstacle if and when Bilodid ever goes up to 52, assuming Uta stays at 52 as well. So if anybody's going to come up with the answer, it would be her. But, you know, we'll have to see. And then it will be interesting to see, you know, what happens if and when Bilodid does go up a weight class. You know, she'll feel more comfortable. She won't be cutting as much. But that's a different level of, it's a different mass. It's a different level of strength. It's a, you know, slightly different level of play. So, you know, it's an interesting thing to consider.
Yeah, when a fighter moves a weight category, it's not completely starting from scratch, but what you do is you move into someone else's territory. It's their, you know, terrain, and you have to see whether or not you can step up and bring the same kind of command and control that you had in your weight category in the new weight category. And Abe is young. She's just a few months older than Bilodid. And it doesn't look as though she's going anywhere. She's not going to go 57. 52 looks like the weight that she's set at. But I'll go back to Kei Sun-hee, and Kei Sun-hee also had to move into a weight category that had a South Korean, Hyun Suk-hee. She was there as world champion. She then moved, when she moved up to 57 kilos, there was Yvonne Bernish and the Spaniard Isabel Fernandez. That's got a
there
score.
We go.
Couldn't stop him at the end.
Nope. And so the Brazilian lifted and turned Kazakhstan, which is so unusual. That's kind of a turn of events, the Kazakh, because that's something that's so common in Kazakh judo.
I mean, I could go through the list of people that Kei Sun-hee ended up beating as she moved through the weights. Sato Aiko, the Cuban, Lupetti, you know, there were just so many good fighters at that time, and she managed them.
Yeah.
You know, bit by bit, she said, okay, this is my weight category. Yeah. She was exceptional. Tani was exceptional. Kei Sun-hee was exceptional. Nomura was exceptional in exactly the same way that you're saying Renan is. You never know.
Yeah. And now Bilodid is clearly overpowered for her weight class. She clearly overpowers the people in her weight class. And so I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see if that translates up the weight class. Will she be able to depend on the same kind of thing? Because right now, her attack is incredibly, you know, she's got a very, very successful, very set strategy. But